Barak Varr, which means the gate to the sea in Khazalid. It is the one and only dwarf hold built as a harbor. Unlike most of the dwarf holds, which are built in the World Edge Mountains, Barak Varr is in the Black Gulf, and the dwarfs carved it into a cave and made it a dwarf hold. It is also the greatest sea fortress, as inside the caves, cannons are hidden and armed everywhere. No pirate has ever successfully raided it, and it hasn't fallen so far. The Sea Engineer Guild of Barak Varr produces the best dwarf ironclads and submarines. The submarines are not only used for naval purposes, but also for mining resources beneath the sea. This makes Barak Varr the hold with the most gromril, also known as star metal, and they present star metal armor as gifts to the embassies and guests of friendly nations. The Sea Engineer Guild of Barak Varr is where engineers produce the best dwarf naval vessels, such as the great engineer Malachi Mackayson and his most titanic ironclad in dwarf history, the Unsinkable, which sank on its maiden voyage. Just kidding, such as the great engineer Red Brock, who produced the greatest naval vessels in Barak Varr. He was passed by his rival Tordrek, who held a grudge against Red Brock for always being second due to his slightly shorter talents. But mostly because he was slightly shorter than him. But with sheer fortitude and bloody-minded stubbornness, Red Brock Gunnarsson survived his wounds, and Tordrek was banned from Barak Varr forever due to this incident. But instead of taking his sins, he applied for a job in Jarnagrund. He didn't have enough job experience, even though he had forged many naval vessels. Because he had experience shooting a dwarf, he was hired. Years later, after countless promotions, he at last forged his fever dream masterpiece, the Black Kraken. It's not an actual living kraken, but a colossal machine that functioned like one, not only a true terror of the seas, but terror of the ones who have engineer degrees. Red Brock is hunting this like Dick Half-Mast hunting Moby Dick. Enough of these stories of dreadful fleets, but let's go back to Barak Varr again. Even though Barak Varr's harbor isn't as large as Marienburg's, in fact as large as the regular ports, but is the largest port for a dwarf, Barak Varr is one of the richest holds because it is a trade hub where traders from every realm from Cathay to Lustria gather, except elves. The dwarfs of Barak Varr are so rich that every meal they have is like a feast. And its king, Bernoth Grunderdrak, is one of the richest dwarf lords with one of the largest vaults. But something went wrong. One day, his Book of Grudges, which was supposed to be in the vaults, was lost. And there is only one in this world who can steal from this vault, the dwarf who designed and built this vault.
Where is my Book of Grudges, Troll
You
Slayer?
brought me here.
There is only one who can steal from my vault, and
Your
that's
Majesty,
you!
how can a dwarf from thousands of leagues away do that?
Then where is it? Where is my Book of Grudges?
The truth was, a Skaven somehow snuck into the vaults, stole the Book of Grudges, but couldn't find a way out,
Fuck my life!
and starved to death, hiding beneath Grimnir's statue. Gotrek forgave the king of Barak Varr for erasing one of the grudges where his name had been listed. However, even with a king like this, Barak Varr is the most important dwarf hold, not because of its naval strength, global trade, or undersea resources. What makes it the most important dwarf hold is that it delivers beer and ale to all of Karaz-Ankor as fast as possible. It is a matter of utmost serious matter for the dwarfs. While approximately 73% of the bodies of elves, humans, and other humanoid races consist of water, around 146% of a dwarf's body is made up of beer and ale. Just as other races can survive 3 to 5 days without water, dwarfs can survive only 1.5 to 2.5 days without beer or ale. So it is a serious and vital matter for the dwarfs. It is so important that even though dwarfs aren't made to be good sailors, they sail the seas. However, there is one dwarf who isn't that tall, but tall for a dwarf that he can walk through shallow waters. And his name is Long Drong. Thanks to his height, Long Drong became a legendary trader who never failed to deliver ale on time. But when he was sailing through the Sartosan seas,
Captain Drong, you are alive! We need to save the survivors on the ship!
Nay, Let them die.
Captain,
Don't
your
care
leg!
about my leg. We lost all our cargo. Barrels of precious ale and Bugman beer. Thousands. All lost. Our career as a Dawi trader is over. We became a shame. We are not worthy to live. The rest of the crew on the ship will think the same. Shave your heads and so will I. We are now slayers.
Captain, there's a survived barrel of Bugman's ale!
Go!
Track it!
We are temporarily worthy to
It
live.
flew down to that cove over there!
But when Long Drong realized Pirate Captain Sissoko and his crew drank one last barrel of Bugman's ale, Long Drong executed all of Sissoko's crew, took his ship, and renamed it the Fair Frega, after a famous dwarf maiden of Barak Varr, rumored to be incredibly beautiful. However, none of them actually knew what a dwarf lady looked like, so they relied on their imagination and crafted an awesome ram on the ship's prow. It also turned Sissoko a sissy.
Curse you!
Now they wander the world as mercenaries, renowned for their foul thoughts, a result of drinking rum mixed with black powder and iron filings. Even after Long Drong and his crew quit, Barak Varr still delivers beer and ale, and it will always be the most important dwarf hold. But if that beer and ale were to somehow fall into the hands of a Stirlander, the alliance between men and dwarfs might come to an end. Now come, follow me. Enter and experience the old world with the Old World Geographic. Like and subscribe for more Old World Geographic.